Hey, listen, it's not a movie. It's not a movie, said Lawdhayz. I have an inquiry. See, I remember an old photo of you, and you had dreads. I wish to inquire if you have any more photos or memories or stories of these times. Deeply interesting. Uh, yep, the one photo's all I got. I don't even know where I got that one from. I got stories, though. Are you ready? You might want to buckle up. How long did I have those dreads? I don't know. At least 4 years. Bless her heart, the one who sectioned them off for me, she ain't never done that before. So it looked like I had a bald spot right here anytime the black would grow out. I'd dye my hair black back then. Dye my hair black back then. I did, yes. And so when it would grow out, my natural hair color would come out. It looked like I was balding right there. Yeah, I lived with that for like 4 years or more. Seemed like it was longer than that. I don't know. It was a wild time, you heard. It was a wild time. You see all of this right here? Very carefully curated over the years. It wasn't like that back then. Yeah. Y'all youngins talk about cringe nowadays. You ain't met me when I was 26, I'll tell you that. You should have nightmares. Be like the thing that squiggles in your dreams. I know some people had nightmares too. Oh, fuck. I just thought of a story. Oh. Do I gotta get out the coffee for this? All right, see, 1 second. Ooh. Oh boy, here we go. Well, there was one time. I didn't have dreadlocks then, did I? Well, anyway, it's more about who I was back then. I didn't know nothing about how to interact with people. All I could do was just be myself. And oh my God, did it rub people the wrong way. You ever seen somebody with cold, wet hands rub a cat's fur backwards? That's about the reaction that people had when I'd come around and when I'd start talking. Yeah, some people think it's bad when they see me talking these days. Oh, no, they lucky. They lucky and somebody's looking out for them that they didn't get to meet me when I was 26. I tell you what, there was one time. I used to make these little tiny books that I'd stain with coffee or tea with all kinds of weirdness in them. Sigils and symbols, except I didn't know anything about, what they call magic back then, which we are all doing all the time, by the way. Thoughts are like silent decrees. That's why it's important to pay attention to what you're thinking and saying about yourself. This ain't about philosophy right now. Okay. There was a strip club in Portland, Oregon. And I don't remember exactly what I said, but I walked in the place and I said something to somebody and I showed them my little book and they were excited about it. And they went downstairs to show everybody else. I stayed upstairs. And I was like, all right, well, I'm kind of ready to go. Can I have my book back? And it bothered them so bad. I could have just let him keep it. Boy, let's not go there. Anyway, there was another time in, I think it was the first time. Was it? Kitty? I don't know. It was one of the times I went to go see Wednesday 13. And after the show, you getting after it, Kitty? Get it. After the show, we was hanging out outside, just sitting down, laying against the brick wall. You getting it? Get it, baby. Yeah. Yeah. And there was a lady who didn't have her glasses. She had a shaved head. And, you know, her eyesight was even more blurry than mine. For me to read books without my glasses, we gotta hold stuff like here. But her eyesight was like, and she needed some new glasses. So she didn't, you know, suffice to say, she didn't see nothing that was happening on the stage at all. But she still had a good time, though. She said there was going to be a little contest at the Hustler Club the next night. And invited me and a friend to go and cheer her on, see if we could help her win. She never showed up. But boy, did I weird some people out that night. Yep. I don't remember what shirt I was wearing, but it was one that I had made, I think. I tattered the edges of it. It might have been one that had like a black cannabis leaf on it and on the sleeves. I had a white fedora from Walmart that was a little bit too small for my head. Most hats don't fit my head. I got a big ass head, apparently. That's what they say. Wearing some flared jeans. Oh, it was just, what a thing. Oh my God. But there was one lady who was gonna get up on stage, and we talked at the bar for a minute, and it was a almost good conversation. She tried, courage. I'm proud of her for trying to talk to me back then. Well, I have a hell of a voice. I promise you ain't never heard nobody scream like I can, or howl, or growl. Well, I cheered her on big time. She won. That's the power of the voice, my dear. Yeah, but it was a definitely awkward night. And then, my name's TJ, by the way. The DJ that night was also named TJ. He had dreadlocks as well. Back then, I think my dreads were like down to my hips. And he said, we need a couple of people in the audience to get up on the stage and pole dance for the ladies. You know I went up there. So I was strange back then. People think I'm strange now. They don't know shit. Ain't seen nothing. Yep, that was a hell of a thing. The other guy that got up there, he was able to take his pants off, because he was wearing boxers. I don't. So I wasn't gonna take my pants off up there. Wasn't gonna do that. Whew. But I had a good time. He got the t-shirt, though. Oh, well. I went back home feeling everybody else's cringe, which really just made me, what's the word? I just pushed through it harder. Anytime somebody would be cringing, it'd be like, oh, you shouldn't have done that. It's not exactly like that these days. Get it, baby? You get it. Yeah. Get it. Get it. Oh. What's another story? And there is a piece of that story I'm leaving out too. Nobody needs to hear that. It might hurt somebody. I would get compliments on my dreads all the time. I love your dreads. Thank you. Nah, I didn't talk like that back then. My voice has changed so much. Back then I had sort of, I'm trying to think of the words. My ego was overinflated. We can say that. I was really full of myself, but at the same time, I was still full of self-doubt and self-limiting belief. But I just chose to push through it, barrel through it, and let me tell you, it was a hell of a sight for the bystanders. Back then, I had a green Chevy Cavalier, and my friend and I, we'd sometimes go driving around at night, just blaring music, and every once in a while, we'd go off to some dirt road somewhere in the middle of the night, and I'd be on top of the car, just hanging on, or hanging on the back of the car, or the hood of the car, dreads flopping around everywhere. This is ridiculous. That shit's dangerous, by the way. I don't recommend it. Come to think of it, when I first started locking my hair, I was still in the habit of using conditioner. You don't want to use conditioner if you're trying to lock your hair, because it made this whole section right here just, there's nothing but a big knot. And I didn't want to deal with it. So it stayed like that for like 3 months. And it was like that when me and my friend went to the aquarium too. Just boom, big old knot right there. Good Lord, you know. I would use a crochet hook. I'd put it through one of the dreads and wrap around some of the, the frayed bits. Pull it back through, over and over and over and over and over and over. This is a lot of work. Work out your arms, holding them up like this all the time. I never used any dread wax because I didn't want to get too much moisture trapped in them. Because I heard this story once. This one fella, bless his heart, he had some shorter dreads, and he'd always have them in a ponytail right here. And this is a story I heard from somebody that went to high school, went to the same high school I went to, and they were running around the basketball court during PE, and my other friend who told me about the story, he said, I don't know what he said exactly, I'm just going to say it the way I would say it. We all smell some kind of stinking honking up to high heaven. And we were like, yo, there's something going on with you, like something don't smell right. And he took his hair down, and it was a big, giant, like, swath of mold right there on the back of his head. It's like, how does that even work? How does that even happen? You'd be laying down to go to sleep, and you'd be like, what does that smell? So yeah, that's That's one of the reasons I never used dread wax, because I dreaded the idea of having mold grow in my hair. And boy, did they pick up a lot of dirt. Oh my God. Every time I'd wash them, just so much dirt washing out of them. What a thing. It may not be like that for some people, because, some people got different kind of hair, But that's how it was for me. I used to do these videos with those light gloves, those gloves that got the little LEDs in the fingertips. And I'd do videos like that. That was before I felt comfortable talking on camera. I practiced for years. I was very self-conscious. So I'd go out to the field out here, and I'd set up the camera on the tripod. And that was before the camera phones were that good. What a wild thing to think about. Don't gotta worry about that anymore. So yeah, and I would just talk to the camera, just saying whatever was on my mind. And sometimes I'd watch the videos, I think, but most of the time I wouldn't, and I would just delete them. I just did that for like 4 years, until finally I had the courage to actually make some videos to post to YouTube. And I don't think I ever posted my light glove videos, which I don't have a copy of. I used to make pipes out of bamboo. I completely forgot about this. Oh my God. Okay. Yeah, let's see here. So I made like a cane that had like a little pipe section in part of the bamboo. I had smoothed down the rings on the outside of the bamboo, so it didn't even look like bamboo anymore. And the very top of the pipe, or the very top of the cane, was the pipe section. Yep. I don't remember what happened to it. I probably broke it on purpose. Sort of. Yeah. Long story. There was another one, because I was just making a bunch of them just for fun. And I made one that I went and I took to my friend on his birthday. And his parents got so upset. And I'm like, what? You're not honest with them or something? Like, at first he wanted me to feel bad about it. I'm like, no. I'm not going to feel bad that you're dishonest. Thank you. So, yeah. All right. Then there was a big, huge cane I made with a big old chunk of bamboo. And I had a pipe section in it. And I took it to a Wednesday 13 concert. The guy the bouncer almost didn't let me in with it. And he was like, just don't hit nobody with it. You got it. Of course, I was kind of full of myself at the time and kind of like showing off. And so I'm spinning the thing and I drop it, blah, 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 onto the ground. Loud enough to, you could hear it over the music. Oh, it's ridiculous. And at the end of the show, the only thing I condone is thinking for yourself. All right. At the end of the show, hanging out with Wednesday 13 and a few other people. And this one guy sitting next to Wednesday, and he says, would you smoke a joint with me? He's like, sure. So they smoked the joint, and right by the time it's almost out, I'm like, hey, if y'all done with that, let me see it. Give it here. And the guy's like, it's out. It's nothing but filter. I said, yeah, just give it here. And so I stick it in my pipe. My pipe came. And Wednesday was like, give that here. So I handed him my pipe cane, and he took the biggest, most massive puff of a cigarette filter I've ever seen. Whoa, like a dragon. Cherished memory. The only thing I condone is thinking for yourself. It's one of my favorite memories. There was one time, I think I'm gonna put a pause on the stories for now, but last little story for you. There was one time I had written out some kind of story, and I printed it out, and I made a bunch of books, one for everyone in the band, and I gave it to them after the show. And same thing for the ones that they were touring with, Vampires Everywhere. I believe they disbanded a while back, but they were very interesting guys as well. And so yeah, I wrote this story out, printed it out, and made little tiny books, and I gave them all one. And Roman, the guitarist for Wednesday, he remembers me vividly and warmly. He said he was carrying that book around in his bag. How beautiful is that? Wednesday definitely remembers me, because I actually ran up and sort of jumped on him. He was real nice about it, though. Apparently he's known for, kicking people's asses, but he's apparently since tried to quit doing that. Apparently. But yeah, he was real nice to me. He was like, can you not do that, please? Absolutely. You say no, I say okay.